guys, it's Emma and I'm back today for you with another video. And today we're doing a rant review, okay? I know, long time no motherfucking see, right? Today the book that I'm ranting about, everybody, is You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty by Akwaeke Emezi. This is about Feyi, who went through a very tragic, very traumatic loss, losing the love of her life in a car accident. And it's been 5 years and she's been healing from it, but she wants to feel alive again. And through all of this, her best friend thinks that she should get back into the dating scene once more. And so after a very steamy encounter on a rooftop, it kind of cascades into a very tumultuous summer that lands her on this tropical island. And she's going there with this man that she's involved with. And when she gets there, she may or may not get involved with, or have trouble not getting involved with, the man's father. The trigger warnings in here are death of a loved one, homophobia, PTSD, and there is alcohol and drug use. So that's another one. I thought that I would love this book. I enjoy watching mess. However, the mess that unfolded in this book was a little bit much for me. So we're going to be ranting about this today, all right? And I just want to put a little disclaimer right here. I'm going to be spoiling this book. Okay, so if you want to read this book and you don't want to be spoiled, I suggest you click out of the video now. And also, I am ranting about this book, so it's going to get heated. Therefore, all of my opinions are my own. I don't mean any hate to the author, to fans of this book, or fans of this author. These are simply my opinions. So before we actually start, I would really, really appreciate it if you guys would look down in the description box for all the links that I have there for you guys pertaining to stuff going on in the world right now. For example, what's going on in Gaza, what's going on in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, what's going in Myanmar, what's going on in Sudan, what's going on in Tigray. Anything of the sort, right? So those links will be down there for you guys to look at, to interact with, to share. And then down in the comment section, let me know whether or not you guys read this book, whether you like this book, whether you've read other books by Akwaeke Emezi. So with that being said, let's just get right into it. We're also drinking. Now, I don't have a wine glass, all right? So we have a cup. I don't feel like guzzling straight from the wine bottle on the internet. So there we go. Pro number one is the writing, all right? I love Akwaeke Emezi's writing. All right, chef's kiss. All right, some of the most beautiful writing I think I've ever read in my life. All right, and also I flew through this book. Okay, so the writing, on top of it being beautiful and just a joy to read, it's fast. Pro number two, Feyi. All right, no, don't get me wrong. She irritated the hell out of me towards the end of the book. All right, but I still really loved her. All right, she was flawed, but she didn't give a fuck. All right, and I love a woman that simply cannot give a fuck. I like being able to read about a character, and yes, these maybe are not the best people in the world. These people may not make the best decisions in the world, but do I enjoy following them? Do I enjoy the discoveries that they make about themselves? Do I discover any growth that they may have amongst themselves? Yes, quite. Indeed. Now the cons. All right, and number one is the mess. The man that Feyi is involved with, his name is Nasir, and he has a sister named Lorraine, so they are the children. And then Nasir's dad is named Aleem. Aleem is the father. When Nasir and Feyi, I guess, get involved, there's no titles. All right, Nasir does not have the given title of boyfriend. All right, so that must be acknowledged. However, boyfriend or not, you were involved with this man. So that must also be acknowledged. There could be the argument of, well, you know, it's not exactly cheating because, you know, they weren't technically boyfriend and girlfriend officially. However, in my opinion, you know, they were involved. They were partners in a way. And there was, in fact, goings-on behind one of the partner's backs by the other partner in terms of sex and romance, all right? Which, you know, we can get into the whole thing of, like, you know, is emotional cheating a thing, whatever. That's not what we're talking about here, okay? I'm just trying to make sure that, you know, I cover all the bases and we have a level motherfucking playing field. Now, like I said, I wanted to like the mess because I like mess. However, this mess, the details of it were a little bit too much for me, okay? Because basically the mess is that Feyi goes behind Nasir's back and sleeps with his dad. And that's how Feyi and the dad's relationship starts. All right. I don't like the way that Feyi and Aleem got together. I just don't. They both deserve happiness. It's just the way that they went about their deserved happiness kind of made me want to rip my teeth out. I like the ex-girlfriend sleeping with the ex-boyfriend's dad, you know, because then there's no cheating. Because I'm sorry, I'm of the opinion where it's like, if they will cheat with you, they will cheat on you. And they have children, that should be another red flag for you. And I also just have conditions for the boyfriend's dad trope. All right, I have two, which we will get into right now. Con number 2 is the first condition that I have in order to read a boyfriend's dad trope book and like it. And that first condition is that the boyfriend's dad needs to have some sort of hesitation about their relationship with their son. Okay, because whether it's the ex-girlfriend or the current girlfriend, all right, or a crush for that matter, there has to be some sort of hesitation to the possible shattering of this relationship that you have with your child, all right? Because sleeping with your child's either ex-partner, current partner, or desired partner is wild to me, with no qualms, no hesitations, no reservations. And that's what I needed from Aleem, or at least I needed more from Aleem, all right? I needed him to step back and say, okay, wait a minute. If I do this, if I sleep with Feyi, if I get involved with Feyi more generally, I could possibly really, really damage the relationship I have with my son. Little to none. Aleem has little to no hesitation about getting involved with the woman that his son is involved with. Okay? And Feyi, in retrospect to Aleem and his children, is a rando. All right? Aleem, the way his children see it, is choosing a rando over his own children. All right? And Feyi, the woman, the rando, all right, actually is the one that brings it up more. Hey, you know, don't you think maybe we should tell your son, you know, about what we're doing so that he doesn't have to find out? Because obviously it's going to be much uglier than, you know, if we just taken the initiative and told him, you know, hey, maybe you could possibly destroy the relationship that you have with your son because this is an immense betrayal of trust, you know? How is it that the mistress cares more about your relationship with your children than you do? That's otherworldly to me. And there's one scene on page 277. Okay, when Aleem essentially insinuates like, hey, we should get married. Marrying a dude that you've known for less than a month is wild to me. Aleem insinuates, you know, hey, we should be happy together. I should move to Brooklyn with you so that we can be together. And then Feyi says Nasir and Lorraine would never go for it, Aleem. And he says, well, maybe one day. What does it matter when we love each other? What does it matter? It? As if it's just an abstract thing, as if it, i.e., the relationship with the children that you created, that you raised, that at least what I thought you loved, you're willing to just throw it away? I feel like this is like peak nightmare fuel for children that are gaining a step parent. Oh my gosh. And then con number 3. Okay, which is condition number 2 in order for me to like a boyfriend's dad trope, is that the dad needs hesitation also about the age gap. The whole age gap thing doesn't bother me in the sense of, well, how old is Feyi? No. All right, because Feyi is in her like late 20s, early 30s, maybe mid 30s, somewhere around that age. She's a grown-ass woman. All right, that is that is leagues different than if we go to a book that has been marketed as, oh yeah, girlfriend and boyfriend's dad, you know, and the boyfriend and the girlfriend in question are either in high school or graduating high school, and the dad and the girlfriend get together because the dad is now dating a teenager. Okay, vastly different, all right? That would be strange to me. That is not what happens in this book. What makes it weird to me, personally, is that Aleem is involved with a woman the same age as his daughter. That's what bothers me about the age gap. That is like the main reason, if not one of the main reasons, why Lorraine, the daughter in question, is pissed at the whole relationship, all right? Because don't get me wrong, she's pissed that her dad went behind her brother's back and slept with the woman that her brother was involved with. You know, don't get me wrong, she's pissed about that, but she's also kind of weirded out by the fact that her dad has involved himself with a woman the same age as his daughter. And I think that it's a pretty valid criticism of this relationship, and it's completely disregarded. All right, maybe it's brought up once, but that's it. Quite honestly, it reminds me a lot of Chutney from Legally Blonde, which we all know the perm courtroom conversation is iconic. It's iconic in the ways of laws, in the ways of beauty, in the ways of humanity itself. All right, but if we really look at what Chutney was thinking about, all right, when she, bursts out and like the first sign of her cracking and about to confess was her being like,
"She's my age. Did she tell you that? How would you feel if your father married someone who was your age?"
To watch your father be involved with a woman who is your age or around your age, it is incredibly jarring to see that and to see your father in that way. Both of these conditions lead me to ask the question of what binds these two together in terms of a relationship. You know what I mean? Like what are their shared hobbies? What do they like to do in their spare time? Like what do they like so much about one another that makes them both just say essentially fuck all to this family dynamic? All right, is it simply because that they both find each other sexy and they've both lost partners? Is that it? It must be either that or they did some like 20 questions thing off page, because like I said, Aleem and Feyi were ready to marry one another after less than a month of knowing one another. Con number 4 was the one-dimensional characters besides the main characters. Okay, for example, Milan. Milan is the guy that essentially connects Nasir and Feyi with one another, because Feyi is involved with Milan, they break it off, and then Milan's friends with Nasir, and she meets Nasir on the rooftop, aka the steamy little encounter that she has, and that's how they meet, because they are both associated with Milan. And Milan is out of the story, all right, until maybe the last 50 pages or something, when he magically comes in and he calls Feyi. And the only reason, okay, that he is brought back into the story is to get Feyi to a place of the relationship, and then in order to justify the relationship. And then he's essentially thrown out of the way, because what use is he anymore? Like I said earlier, I do believe that Feyi and Aleem deserved happiness, and I liked the fact that they found happiness in one another. However, the way they went about it at the end of the damn day, I believed was sucky. I thought it was a dick move. But I don't think Milan's coming back into the story, or really plopping back into the story, would have pissed me off had his rationale for justifying their relationship not been what it was. I didn't like Nasir, and even with that, I still think that Milan's rationale was ridiculous. Because Milan's rationale is this: Feyi and Aleem should be able to do whatever they want, and Nasir should essentially suck it up because of 3 things. Nasir has had a good, comfortable life. Nasir has his boys, and Nasir hasn't lost anybody close to him. All right? I have counter arguments to all 3 of those things. First of all, just because somebody has had a comfy and loving life, all right, partly because of the dad that loved him so much, and the same dad that went behind his back and slept with the girl that he was involved with, all right, just because someone has lived a comfy life, that means that they should suck up being cheated on? That's wild to me. All right, 2, Nasir has his boys. His boys, I'm sorry, because he's grown up with an amicable and a pretty damn good father-son relationship all his life, his boys are not going to be a sufficient replacement. All right, they may be a Band-Aid, but it's going to be a Band-Aid over a bullet hole. And then number 3, okay, Nasir hasn't lost anybody close to him? What do you mean? All right, like, don't get me wrong. Feyi and Aleem both lost their partners, people that they were married to, right? Feyi lost her husband, Aleem lost his wife, But in Aleem losing his wife, Nasir also lost his mother. What do you mean? That Nasir hasn't lost anybody close to him? So Malong coming in wearing a judge's wig and holding a gavel and being like, no, Feyi and Aleem's relationship is justified because this, and this do not make that, and that null and void. And the second character that I really want to talk about is Jonah, Feyi's husband, because we don't really get much about him. All right, which I guess maybe he's not supposed to be fleshed out. In which case, okay. However, the only things we know about him are that he was the love of Feyi's life, he liked the messiness of humans, and he was philosophical about it, and he was severely killed in a car crash, which led Feyi to be severely traumatized by this. I felt like Jonah in particular, was only ever associated with Feyi's trauma, and that's it. I just feel like that other than Feyi and Aleem, there is severe wasted potential within these characters. I gave You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty 2 stars. All right. Like I said, I like mess. I wanted to like the mess in here, but girl, just wow. I liked the idea of the mess. I hated how it was executed. So just wow. So you guys, that was my rant review of You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty. I hope that you've enjoyed. This book just, wow. The mark was here, was going right here, and then took a wide left turn and just hit a wall. Hit a wall, baby doll. All right, it's Demolition Derby over there. Anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed. I hope that you will continue to look out for more videos on my channel. I hope that you guys are staying safe, and I hope that you guys have a good rest of your day. Goodbye.